Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter Exiled Rogue. Huge thanks to Exiled Rogue and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Exiled Rogue reached out asking for a high-powered deck led by Wulfgar of Icewind Dale, focused on extra combat steps, and I was more than happy to oblige. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Wulfgar of Icewind Dale is a 5-mana, 4/4 legendary human barbarian with melee. He says that if a creature we control attacking would cause a triggered ability of a permanent we control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. In other words, Wulfgar is Panharmonicon, but for attacking. He's not the only commander that does this. There's also Isshin, 2 Heavens is 1. Isshin is a great commander, but he's in Mardu, while Wulfgar is in Gruul. So it's nice seeing commanders with the same effect who have different color identities. Additionally, Exiled Rogue asked that the deck not be budget, which is fortunate as I already created a budget Wulfgar deck back when I only had one YouTube channel. I'll post a link to that video in the upper right hand corner. While you're checking it out, be sure to subscribe. I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIV every weekday for a couple of hours, and if you want to come hang out and chat, feel free to stop by. So, getting back to this Wulfgar build, we're going to want a variety of attack triggers in our deck, and we want to focus on having as many attacks per turn as possible. Beyond that, we should probably stick with our handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. As I'm sure you've heard by now, this channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. Ultimate Guard was made famous by their Boulder, which now comes in these lovely two-tone boxes, allowing you to show your guild loyalty. Unless you're a filthy Dimir player who is simply disguising their deck, trying to infiltrate and learn the secrets of that most entertaining of guilds, the Rakdos. Find out if your local game store carries the new Ultimate Guard Synergy Boulders, or click on the link down below to order yourself one from Amazon. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Wooded Foothills, Scalding Tarn, Verdant Catacombs, Arid Mesa, Misty Rainforest, Stomping Ground, Spire Garden, Rockfall Vale, Rootbound Crag, Highland Forest, Wooded Ridgeline, Cinderglade, Spine Rock Knoll, Mosswart Bridge, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, Den of the Bugbear, Rogue's Passage, Scavenger Grounds, Myriad Landscape, 8 mountains, and 8 forests make up the lands on our deck list. Sword of the Animist, Goldspan Dragon, Bear Umbra, Goreclaw Terror of Kalsisma, World Shaper, Captain Lannery Storm, Hoarding Ogre, Rampant Growth, Skyshroud Claim, Primeval Herald, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, The Great Henge, Nature's Lore, and Farseek make up our mana ramp package. You'll note that 6 of our ramp pieces care about attacking. Toski, Bearer of Secrets, Beast Whisperer, Return of the Wild Speaker, Elemental Bond, Jeska's Will, Underworld Breach, Guardian Project, Sylvan Library, Colossal Majesty, and Big Score help us dig through our deck and keep our hands full. Heroic Intervention, Beast Within, Coglo the Titan Ape, Deflecting Swat, Return to Nature, Clouth's Will, Bolt Bend, Abrade, Chaos Warp, Vandal Blast, and Hull Breach help us to control the board as needed. Blasphemous Act and Chain Reaction help us to reset the board if things get out of hand. Scourge of the Throne, Hellkite Charger, Aggravated Assault, Moarg, Fury of Akum, Karlach, Fury of Avernus, Combat Celebrant, and Relentless Assault all serve the sub-theme of our deck, adding extra combat steps. Itali, Primal Storm, Krenko, 10th Street Kingpin, Dracuseth, Maw of Flames, Savage Ventmaw, Tectonic Giant, Delina, Wild Mage, Colonian Hydra, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Elder Gargaroth, Hellrider, Tyrant's Familiar, Pathbreaker Ibex, Grand Warlord Rada, and Owlbear Cub make up the core of our deck. But supporting our plan, we have Doors of Durin, Rhythm of the Wild, and Fervor. We are a creature-based deck after all. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 52 mana sources split between 37 lands and 15 pieces of ramp. A little heavy, but our curve is pretty high, so it's fine. 10 pieces of card advantage. 11 pieces of interaction. 2 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Return to Nature and Scavenger Grounds. 1 sudden I win card in Aggravated Assault. We have several cards in our deck that give us mana when we attack. Captain Lannery Storm, Savage Ventmaw, and Grand Warlord Rada, to name a few. Wulfgar doubles their triggers, which should generate enough mana to activate Aggravated Assault an infinite number of times. Of course, Aggravated Assault garners a ton of hate, so we have a bunch of backups as well. Enough that we should be able to swing out at each of our opponents every single turn, which is very exciting. One more thing I wanted to bring up. Mostly just some thoughts I had while building Wulfgar. I noticed I had a lot of dragons in the deck. Enough that I thought about building a Wulfgar dragon deck. So I did. I won't go into it too much, but I basically added just about every dragon that has an attack trigger, then added some dragon support cards like Dragon's Horde, and Sarkhan Fireblood, as well as some good all-around dragons like Lathas Dragon Queen. Now you've got yourself a deck. I'm not going to do a full video on it, but I will post the link down below. Do you have a Wulfgar of Icewind Dale deck? What theme did you go with? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Alex, Daniel, Steve, Kevin, Alex, Cookie, Nick, Borgie, Jake, and Exiled Rogue. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.